The paper shook in her hand like a verdict. My mother-in-law stood in my kitchen, lips tight with disgust, eyes burning with the kind of righteousness that needs an audience. The payslip fluttered between her fingers, crumpled at the edges from how hard she'd gripped it. "A parasite," she said, voice sharp enough to draw blood. "Anyone who earns only $1,200 a month should leave this house." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't rush to defend myself. I just asked calmly, "Whose do you think that belongs to?" She blinked. Behind her, my husband started trembling. That's when the room tilted. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough for the truth to slide into place. I married him believing love was a shared language. He was gentle, attentive, careful with words. His mother adored him with a devotion that bordered on worship. She praised his intelligence, his potential, his sacrifice in marrying a woman like me. I let it slide. I thought love could absorb small humiliations. Back then, I was the quiet one. The woman who smiled through backhanded compliments. The one who cooked, worked, planned, paid, and stayed silent when she visited and rearranged my home like it was a set she owned. She never asked what I did for work. Never asked what I earned. She assumed. And my husband let her. He told me it wasn't worth correcting her. That she was old-fashioned. That piece mattered more than pride. I believed him. That was my first mistake. The signs came softly. He stopped talking about money. Started deflecting questions. His phone never left his hand. Screen angled away like a secret he was protecting from me. When I asked about expenses, he grew defensive. When I mentioned savings, he accused me of being controlling. Still, I stayed calm. I always stayed calm. The first real crack came when I found the second payslip. Tucked between insurance papers he never sorted. Same company, same amount. $1,200 monthly. I remember sitting on the floor, paper in my lap, listening to the refrigerator hum like it knew something I didn't. He told me he was freelancing, that income fluctuated, that my salary was temporary support until his big break. Temporary stretched into years. I didn't confront him, not yet. I watched instead. I noticed how the bills were always paid on time. Because I paid them. How savings never grew. Because they were quietly drained. How his mother praised him for providing, while I was framed as the burden he carried out of love. I let the narrative build. Let them get comfortable inside it. I began documenting everything, transfers, conversations, dates. I consulted a lawyer quietly, efficiently, like someone planning a move in a chess game where the opponent didn't realize they were playing. I learned how assets were classified, how accounts could be protected, how truth, once timed correctly, could detonate. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I planned. The day she found the payslip wasn't an accident. I'd placed it where she'd look. On the counter, half visible, a trap dressed as negligence. She took the bait with enthusiasm. Her voice filled the house, loud and righteous, listing my supposed failures. Her disappointment in me. Her belief that her son deserved better. I let her finish. Then I asked my question. Silence followed, thick, heavy. She turned to her son. "This is yours?" she asked, confused now, unsure. He swallowed. His hands shook. He didn't answer. So I did. "No," I said. "It's his." Her face drained of color. "That's impossible," she said. "He earns more than that." "He told me." "I know," I replied. "He tells everyone that." My husband stepped back like the floor was giving way beneath him. I reached into my folder and placed it on the table. Bank statements, salary records, proof of transfers from my account to his, years of quiet support he'd taken credit for. "This house?" I said, still calm. "Mine? The savings you praise him for?" "Mine. The stability you admire? Built on my income." She stared at the papers, then at him. For the first time, she saw him clearly. He tried to speak, to explain, to reframe. I didn't let him. "I stayed quiet because I thought love required patience," I said. "But patience is not permission to lie." I turned to her. "You called someone a parasite today. You were right. You were just wrong about who it was." Her mouth opened, closed. No words came. My husband sank into a chair, exposed, small. I handed him the final document. Divorce papers. Already filed. Already processed. "I planned this," I said, not cruelly, just truthfully. "Because I needed you to understand what you were losing." He looked up at me, eyes wet. "We can fix this." I shook my head. "You already broke it." She left without another insult, without another word. He tried to follow her. I stopped him with one sentence. You don't live here anymore. The house felt different after they were gone, quieter, lighter, like it could breathe again. I walked through each room slowly, touched the walls I'd paid for, the furniture I'd chosen, the future I'd reclaimed. I didn't feel victorious. I felt clear. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits, watches, learns, then speaks once, precisely, and ends everything. They thought silence meant weakness. They were wrong. Silence was me sharpening the blade.